Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and welcome to a three-part yoga series on how to reduce stress. So in these 30-minute classes, I'm going to guide you through some very gentle movements, breath flow, and meditations that will help you to reduce stress. So our first segment is called grounding and relaxation. In each practice, we'll be doing some meditation, a little bit of warm-up. We'll have some poses that we'll practice and what we call pranayama, which is some breath work that will really help to reduce stress. And then we'll finish with a closing meditation. So again, our practice today is grounding and relaxation. We'll need some props. And so our props today will need, of course, a yoga mat, a blanket or towel, something soft that you can sit on and kneel on. You can also just have a big bolster or pillow, that's optional. And then a couple of yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use some hardbound books. So we'll have that handy here. The poses that we'll be focusing on today are child's pose, legs against the wall, seated forward fold, and bridge pose. So for legs against the wall, you will need to have a clear wall to practice this, but if you don't have a wall, that's okay. I have an alternative for you. You can just do it here on your yoga mat. Let's go ahead and begin. Just want to get into the breath and get into the moment. So find a comfortable seat, so perhaps you're sitting on your blanket or towel or even your pillow. Be sure you have a nicely extended spine. We're just going to take a few moments and take some deep breaths. So a nice full breath in and exhale completely through the mouth. A nice sigh outward. Again, breathe in and exhale. Just be mindful of the breath and just continue with slow, steady breaths here. Just be mindful of the sound of your breath and the feeling of your breath. Notice how your body is responding to your breath as you breathe in and out. It's a wonderful way to be more focused, pay more attention, be more aware. Letting go of the things that are going on outside of you so you can pay attention to what's going on inside of you. These are wonderful ways to reduce stress. Good. Just continue here for a few more breaths. Just mindful breathing. And you can do this with your eyes opened if you'd like, and if they are open, just take a soft gaze forward or even downward at the floor. Or of course, you can just close your eyes. I'll guide you. Take 3 more breaths. Good. As we shift here into our warm-up, we'll do very simple things. Let's start with some neck movement. Start by just lowering your chin down towards your chest, right here. A nice slow nod. And just feel a light stretch in the back of your neck. And just come back up to neutral. There's no need to tip the head back. Just back up to neutral. And do that 2 more times. Just down. Feel the light stretch. Come back up. 1 more. And as you're moving slowly, you're moving with intention, but also aware of the breath. All right, now just tip your ear, your left ear towards left shoulder. I'm just going to mirror you here. As you do that, you're going to feel a stretch through the right side of your neck. You can tip the head to the side like this, or even use your hand, left hand up and over the head, gently pressing ear towards shoulder, just to create a little bit more sensation in the side of the neck. All right, just take 1 more breath here. And we'll release. Going to the other side, ear towards shoulder, feel the stretch, hold there or even use your hand up and over the head, gently pressing the ear closer towards the shoulder, not forcing this at all, very gently. You can feel that light stretch. We build a lot of tension in our neck and our shoulders. So our next movement will be some shoulder movement. Let's go ahead and release and bring the head back up to neutral. Let's start with some shrugs. Just lift the shoulders up towards your earlobes and then press down. Again, lift and press. One more. Lift and press. Let's try some circles. Roll the shoulders back a few times. Big circles. Your whole body might move with this. Maybe 3 to 5 times. Forward and backward. So I'm moving backward first, and then I'm going to take it forward. Very good. And then when you're complete, just come to stillness. I like that dichotomy of feeling the body in motion and then bringing the body back to stillness. It's an indicator of what we can be more aware of when we're kind of out in the world doing everything, because we're always active, always moving. But we also need to take the time to rest, to be still, to be calm. And so even with this simple movement of rolling the shoulders, we want to take a few seconds to come to complete stillness. All right, our next movement in our warm-up is cat and cow. It's a cat-cow flow. And we'll do this on our hands and knees. So you need your blanket or towel here for a little cushioning for your hands and knees. I'm just going to unfold my blanket, come to my knees here and hands, and just hold for a moment in this tabletop position, and I'll guide you through cat and cow. It starts with cow pose, which is an inhale. You'll tip your chin up as you feel your pelvis tip back, creating an arched back like a back bend, looking forward. Then exhale, let's tuck the tailbone under, or feel the pelvis tuck under. Feel the belly button pull up towards spine, nice curvature of the spine, chin to chest. And just do this a few more times. I really like this flow. It gets into the back body, your whole torso, a wonderful undulation for the spine. Add some mobility and flexibility for your low back and your pelvis. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more. And then when you're complete, just come to a neutral position here, taking a breath or 2. And then sit back gently into hero pose. That's just sitting back onto the heels. Now, if that's too much for the knees or your shins or ankles, you can always tuck your toes behind you and just come back a little bit. We're going to now move into our yoga postures. We have 4 yoga poses. So again, we're going to be doing child's pose, legs against the wall, seated forward fold, and bridge pose. Let's start with child's pose. Now, we're going to be doing all of these postures basically on the floor because this is our grounding and meditation or relaxation practice. So coming back up to hands and knees, you might take your knees slightly wider than your hips and start to sit back towards your heels as you extend your torso and extend your arms out front, and even bringing your forehead all the way down to the floor. Now I'm going to give you some variations of this posture, just to make this a little bit more comfortable perhaps. 1, be sure you have something soft underneath you, like your blanket. You might even use a big pillow or cushion, like something from your sofa or bed, or even a yoga bolster, which I will use here. You might just kind of tuck it underneath you so that you can just rest your body onto this big pillow. And even just turn your head to the side so you can just fully relax here. Now, if you didn't have this pillow, let me just move this out for just a moment. You can stack your fists here and just rest your forehead on your fists like so, or bring in your yoga block or book and rest your forehead here. So I just want to give you some variations of the use of props to help you move into this very relaxing and grounding position of child's pose. We're just going to hold here for several breaths. What's wonderful about this posture and its grounding nature is that you're very close to the ground. One thing that you can practice here and think about while you're just holding in stillness is thinking about all that tension or tightness that you hold in your body, your mind. And imagine as you breathe in, you can just feel all that stressed energy. But when you exhale, you're releasing it into the earth. So even though that might not be a literal thing that you're doing, just imagine that's happening. Inhaling just to have the awareness of the stress, exhaling, releasing that stress to the ground. It's a wonderfully relaxing pose. You can stay here as long as you'd like. All the postures that we practice together, you can hold them for as long as you'd like, especially if they feel quite relaxing and comfortable to you. Sometimes, just to help with timing, if you have some music playing, maybe you have a series of songs like a playlist, and your songs are about 3 minutes long. So you might just hold one of these postures for about 3 minutes, and as the song changes, you go to your next pose. Let's take 3 more breaths here. When you're complete, you're going to slowly rise back up. Any props that you're using, you can just move your props out of the way. Alrighty, our next pose is legs against the wall. I'm just going to use my door right here. And again, if you don't have a space to do this next posture, you can do this on the floor, on your yoga mat without the wall. But let me show you how you can move into legs against the wall. Basically, it's an inverted yoga posture. You're lying on your back, but your legs are extended up against your wall. And this is how you can get into the pose. First, sit sideways against your wall, or in my case, my door frame or my door right here, and sitting sideways, getting my hip as close as I can to the door. Actually, I'm touching it. I'm starting to turn a little bit, so I'm on my right hip right here. And keep going until I feel like I'm just sitting on the wall sideways. Okay, as close as you can. And once you have your hips in place, basically just going to swing the legs up, and you're right there. Legs against the wall. I'm going to hold here for a couple minutes just so you can get a sense of what it looks like. Now the legs might be straight up against the wall. If you need to bend your knees a little, that's perfectly fine. If you need a little softness underneath your body, you might place your blanket underneath you. So why? Legs in the air. So just think about your normal posturing, sitting, standing. Okay, heart is above the feet. So turning upside down can be quite therapeutic. Allowing things to kind of get turned around or upside down quite literally. And even feeling, in a sense, blood flowing in the opposite direction can help with your heart flow or the blood flow and the pumping of the heart. Just by sending the feet up. You may have had an injury or something and you need to elevate your feet. You can just prop something underneath your legs, for example. So this is in that same vein, just extending the legs straight up into the air. So if you have a wall, try this pose, but here's a variation of the posture. So I'm going to carefully just slide to one side and press myself up. Now for the alternative, you'll need a yoga block. Mine are thin blocks. I'm going to use 2 here. Or some books. So have those next to you. You're going to sit in the center of your mat and roll down onto your back. Lying down with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Be sure you can grab your blocks here. I'm going to press my feet into the floor, lifting the hips high enough so I can slide my book or blocks underneath the hips, sit, and then extend the legs in the air. And again, the knees can stay bent here or just extend the legs as best as you can. So this is an alternative to legs against the wall if you don't have the space to do legs against the wall. And just hold here for several breaths. Again, we're just experiencing the sensation of blood flow in the opposite direction. Really good heart work here too. Already 2 more breaths. And if you're in this particular posture, we'll just bend the knees, bring the feet down, moving the blocks out of the way and coming down. Our next pose is seated forward folds. I'm going to roll to my side and rise up. I'm just going to take another seat here with the legs extended out front. Now if you can, keep the legs straight here, but if you need to bend the knees a little or a lot, that's fine too. Basically, we're just going to fold over the legs. Now, what you can also use is a nice pillow or rolled up towel or blanket to help with this posture. So I just have my bolster draped over my thighs here, breathing in to sit up, exhale, and just folding forward. One thing I really appreciate about a pose like this, seated forward fold, even child's pose that we practice, it's a way of kind of tuning out the world. Your head is down, your eyes are probably closed, so it's a wonderful opportunity just to move inside of self. You might be very aware of what you're thinking, even very aware of what you're feeling. And that's okay, because this might tell you, why am I thinking that? Or gosh, so many things are running through my mind at the moment. And then using your breath, perhaps, just like in child's pose, to breathe in, to have that awareness, and the exhale to let it go. So each breath is a way of releasing. So we move into our grounding and relaxation, internalizing ourselves by folding forward, taking an internal inventory. And again, with each of these poses, feel free to stay here as long as you'd like, or if you're using that music method, a 3-minute song, and just holding your pose for 3 minutes before moving on to the next posture. For now, let's just take 2 more breaths. And then when you're complete, just rising back up. Our last pose that we're practicing is bridge pose. Now we almost did bridge pose. It was a way to get into the second version of legs against the wall or just legs in the air. It's the same setup. So you're going to lie down, have your books or blocks nearby. You can even use a nice firm pillow like your bolster as well. So I'm sitting in the center of the mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. So bridge pose is a back bend. It opens the front body. So as you press the feet into the floor, lift your hips and slide your books or blocks underneath you to sit on. And we're just going to stay just like this, keeping the feet on the floor. So just arrange your feet so they're in a comfortable place and your arms are just resting here on the ground. Now the benefit of bridge pose is to now open the front side of the body. We can hold a lot of tension in the front side of the body. Think about activities like sitting at a desk, driving a car, But just that formation of the body, that seated position, can put a lot of stress in the legs, your upper thighs, around the belt line and low belly. So creating a back bend like this, bridge pose that's supported by sitting on something, starts to gently release the upper thighs, that midsection. It even opens up through the chest. Something like sitting or driving, we might find ourselves hunched over, and that might create tension in the body, and it's not very good posture at times. And so this is a nice way to reopen up through the chest and heart space. In yoga, back bends are called heart openers, so you can consider bridge pose a nice heart opening practice. Let's take 3 more breaths. When you're complete, just press your feet into the earth, lifting the hips so you can move your blocks to the side and come down. You might even just pause here for a moment. Feel the body relax. And we're going to come back up to seated. So perhaps roll to one side, lift yourself up or press yourself up until you come to a seated position. So we've completed our yoga postures. Now we move into our segment of pranayama, or our breath work, or controlled breathing. You want to sit on something soft, so it can be your pillow or your blanket. I have 2 pranayama exercises for you. The first one is called Dirgha Pranayama, or 3-part breathing. First, I'll demonstrate it, and then we'll do it together. 3-part breathing is breathing into kind of different sections of the torso. First, we breathe into the belly, and then just above the belly in the diaphragm area, and then to the chest, filling yourself up, and then exhaling all of that breath. So breath control, pranayama. So let me demonstrate it. So I'm going to inhale and just let the belly just expand. Just a little bit there. And then continue that same inhale to fill up just above the belly here. And then continue that same breath in to fill up the chest. It's like you're filling up a balloon from bottom to top. And then when you feel expansive there, then you can exhale either through your nose or out through your mouth. I'm going to do that one more time. Breathing in, belly, above the belly, diaphragm, chest. That's all one inhale and one complete exhale. Let's try that together. 3-part breath. Inhale, belly. Breathe in, upper belly. Continue breathing in, fill up chest. Exhale completely. Let's try to do that 3 more times. Breathe in. Exhale. You can do this with your eyes closed. Breathing like this controlled breath really keeps your attention and your focus on yourself. That way we can help reduce stress. We're not thinking about anything else. You're thinking about taking care of yourself. Let's do one more together. Dirgha Pranayama, or 3-part breath. Just come to stillness. We're going to do one more pranayama exercise. It's called Nadi Shodhana. Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. This one's a little tricky. All right, you can use your one hand. It's your right hand, so this is my right hand, so I'm not mirroring you in this case. And your left hand is just relaxed. Here's how you'll do it. Let me turn at an angle perhaps. Hopefully that will help you to see what's happening. So I'm going to take my thumb and it's going to press on the right nostril, okay? And the ring finger is going to press the left nostril. Okay, your index finger and your middle finger are just going to rest on your forehead. And your pinky might just rest on your cheek, or it's just free. So what you'll do by keeping the index finger and middle finger just resting on the temple here, you're going to use your thumb to press gently the right nostril to close that nostril. You're going to inhale through left nostril, hold the breath, close left nostril with ring finger, release the thumb from right nostril and exhale. Now breathe in that open right nostril. Hold, press or plug the right nostril, open left, exhaling. That's one round. I'm going to do it again. Inhale through left, close both, open the right, exhale. Inhale through right, close right, open left, exhale. Let's do that together. So thumb, closing the right, index, middle finger at the temple, ring finger ready to close the left. Inhale through left, close, open right, exhale. Inhale, close right, open left, exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale through the left, close left, open right. Inhale through the right, close right, open left, exhale. That's Nadi Shodhana, Nadi, N-A-D-I, Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Now, some of these pranayama exercises, you can see there might be some very controlled and very awareness in the breath structure, how you're breathing, through one nose, throughout the other nostril, using your hands. So it takes your full attention to take these breaths. When you're paying full attention to yourself, you're letting go of the things on the outside of you that cause you stress sometimes. And this breathing method also calms the body, calms your heart rate, settles down your pulse, and so you feel more relaxed. Alrighty, let's finish with the closing meditation. So here, you're just going to come to Shavasana, or just lying on your back. If you need something soft underneath you, you can just use your blanket again. And just lying down. If you need something to support your legs, you can use your bolster. You can lie flat on your yoga mat, but if you need a little extra support, I like to tuck my bolster underneath bent knees. And then just relax fully here. We'll just take our remaining minutes in this final meditation. Just continue focusing on your breath. Listening to the sound of your breath. Feeling the breath as it moves through you. And that sound and that sensation keeps you here in the moment, fully present and connected. Feel the earth underneath you, feeling grounded and relaxed. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Maybe you're continuing to listen to some soft, relaxing music in the background. But when you are ready to move, take your time. When you finish your stress reduction yoga practice, I'm going to move slowly as you ease back into the rest of your day. Once again, you're welcome to stay as you are, or move with me as I end the practice. Take 2 more breaths. And then move very slowly. Perhaps just rolling to one side. Using your hands to help lift yourself up. And come to a comfortable seated posture. Sitting up nice and tall. And to finish our practice together, take a nice full breath in and extend your arms out and up. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Taking one more breath in, complete breath out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste. Thank you for watching this segment of the 3-part yoga series for stress reduction. You can find other full yoga classes by following and subscribing to my YouTube channel, MBODY Yoga with John Cottrell. Thanks again for watching. Namaste.